Hi, everybody. It's Kristina Dennis, the Transformational Self Empowerment Master, and I'm coming to you later in the afternoon. And I'll tell you, I've been putting it off for the last 2 or 3 hours. I've had this bit of insecurity, and I can explain it from a multitude of positions, which I think is super important for me to take the time. Hi, Rebecca, to take the time to really look at some of the things that changed today. Today was the first day my son was dropped off on Monday by his dad. And I didn't have that kind of ready, set, go beginning. And so I got up early at the same time, because I believe that's part of self-care, is taking care of myself. And this was after having yesterday off, and got up and I accomplished a lot of things. And then I kind of had this uneasiness that happened, and I wasn't exactly sure, and I'm still not exactly sure where it came from. And what it did was it prevented me, or it slowed me down, I should say, because I'm still here talking, from coming in and sharing some kind of state of enlightenment. I kind of feel like I don't have much to share, or I'm not that interesting. And I don't know where that comes from some days, but in true authenticity, my commitment to being authentic, I thought it was important to say that, and just say out loud, I'm here doing what scares me. That thought that you can't have courage and be afraid at the same time. And knowing that, yes, you can. The opposite of courage is not lack of fear. In fact, it takes fear to define actual courage. And so, although I'm not shaking in my boots, I have a little uncertainty. And so, you see, I can see this eyeshadow needs to be blended a little more. See, picking myself apart a little bit. So I wanted to come in anyway and share that and talk about how things can throw us off. Little things like if you're used to taking your child to school every morning and all of a sudden you're not, and to give myself grace, which I am doing. Doesn't mean that the feelings are dissipating, doesn't mean that sitting in it and having little palpitations of my heart are not are all of a sudden fun because I can understand or explain them. But having that self-awareness and being conscious enough to say, okay, this is going to pass, makes me feel like that's worth sharing with anybody that's watching, and with people that are watching now. Thank you for joining in. This may not be the biggest organized thought process that I have yet, but it is going to be at least true to who I am. I had an incident happen over the weekend, and I'm not sure if it stuck with me, but it seems like it should. And what it was is I do a part-time job in order to afford this new industry that I am forging ahead. Next year, I plan on writing a book, and I want to make sure that I have the freedom to do that without forcing any kind of income-producing activity in the arena of helping people in order to afford to be able to help people. So I do this part-time job. And it's different than any job I've ever done. And there are a cast of characters that show up. And when I started about 6 months ago, I had people talk about me. And I maybe I'm just blessed, but I have been in a place I haven't been in a place in a long time where people were going to gossip about me or talk bad about me. And it really surprised me, and it took me off, caught me off guard. And at first I was like, I'm not sure this is where it's supposed to be, or where I'm supposed to be, because people are kind of being mean. I wear a lot of oils that smell good, and some people started talking about that. And so if I'd show up with a new group of people and a new road show, something would inevitably slip that let me know that other people had said stuff about me before I showed up. And I thought, this is so weird. And sometimes I handled it and sometimes I didn't. But what happened this weekend was that it was Easter, and there's a particular coworker of mine who needs a lot of attention. And I don't want to get into too much of her inventory, but I know every time I work with her, it's going to be a disproportionate amount of time listening to her justify herself. And in many ways, I have a lot of empathy and compassion for her. And in many ways, I just want to punch her in the face because it gets so annoying and long-winded. Now, she showed up with bunny ears, and she brought 2 sets of bunny ears for the 2 male coworkers. There were 4 of us on a team. And so Saturday morning, everybody was given a set of bunny ears but me. And the visual for people who would stop by the roadshow was obvious. And they would say, why don't you have bunny ears? Like, what happened? And, you know, it was like awkward. And I was like, I'm not part of that team, or the Easter Bunny missed my house, or I don't know. I felt myself conflicted because I really didn't want to have feelings about it, but it was really out there for people to see. And it reminded me a little bit of growing up when my sister, who is technically my aunt, was treated a certain way and I was treated a certain way, and people would comment on it. And that desire to equalize everything and to make it go away. And about halfway through the day, I forgot I didn't have bunny ears. And as soon as I forgot, it seemed like people stopped commenting on it. I'm not exactly sure if that's true or not, but I do know what we focus on gets bigger. And so I focused on doing what I needed to do, living by my principles, having a good attitude, being polite, and not, and giving myself that comfort and that acceptance that I might have wanted from my coworkers. Or feeling like, oh my gosh, this person is trying to compete with me. There must be a reason why I need to compete with her, when there really wasn't. And by the end of the shift, I was ready to leave. I was able to go home early, and one of the people stopped and said, I want to apologize to you. I really feel like you got left out. And I could truly say, honestly, it didn't matter. However, it was enough of a slight for me to mention it to Kelly, and he thought it was wrong, and of course was immediately protective of me. And I wonder if it contributed, or if it contributed to how I'm feeling today, or if it truly is something that really doesn't matter. And so I'm going to take a little bit of time and see if it sticks around. And if tomorrow I'm still thinking about it, then I'll do some writing. But I hope it really is that it was enough for me to laugh and giggle about and realize that it has nothing to do with me, and not worry about it, and that I truly am beyond that kind of behavior, and I can be compassionate to this person. That's what I'm hoping. So, and I think Billy's going to come in. Give me 1 minute, honey. And I'm going to get off this video because he's standing at the door and he's ready for his mother to come back. So just wanted to put that out there. This is how I'm feeling today. I'm going to follow it to its source. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to give myself love. I'm going to ask for what I need from people who I know will support me and will accept me. And I'm going to be okay with the fact that there are people out there that don't, because really that's just life. And I'm not in any special category that I should never be unliked or ever be untouched by personalities and hurting people. So I think that's it for today. I hope everybody has a really great day, and I'm going to be all right with the fact that this isn't the most, thought-provoking video, but it is where I am, and I hope everybody sticks with me and we come back tomorrow and do something else. All right, love you all. Bye.